disparity, inconsistency, and separation. Let's talk about 5 reasons why to get rid of Facebook. All right, guys, this week I'm going to talk the 5 reasons as to why I am getting rid of my Facebook profile. I feel like to some degree it is a huge time waster. People put too much emphasis on the time they spend on Facebook and worrying about what other people think or feel or the opinions that someone will have through Facebook. And in a lot of cases, it's people that you don't necessarily know. I think the original idea behind Facebook was to bring you together with people that you're familiar with, people that you have something in common with, family, getting pictures out there. And I think it's totally gotten away from the original concept of that. You are now running into situations where the amount of time that people put useless information on Facebook supersedes the amount of time that you are using for more constructive activities. That's my reason number 1. The reason number 2 for leaving Facebook is because of it being a time waster. I'm finding that my time is not being used as constructive as I would like to see it. Therefore, I'm becoming less happy. I have noticed this a lot in the last 18 months to 2 years. Events that have occurred on Facebook or nationally that have gotten me to the point of being less happy has really gone sky high, and I'm using this as a reason to retake my time back. So that's how I kind of am able to link my number 1 and my number 2 together. Time waster, being happy, being more constructive. Along those same lines, you are looking at the intent of what's being put on Facebook and the reality of what's being put on Facebook. In a lot of cases, there is the intent of what people put on there, which is to get a rile out of folks or to get a reaction, if it were. And then there's the reality of what is really being seen on Facebook. There is news, and then there is right now they're using the big term is fake news. So not even just from a national level, but even from a more local level, you have people who put all of this information about their lives on Facebook, about how great things are and how they're doing this and doing that. And every weekend they're driving things home and they're going to parties and they're going to events and all. And don't get me wrong, all these things are great, but it kind of gets to a spot in my world where I know the true lives of some of these folks, and it is just a haze over what their reality really is. And me being a realist, having very little gray area, it's right or wrong, it's black or white. And I just find that it's frustrating me. You have created your own reality TV show out of Facebook. So I think people need to try to go back to being themselves and less like people think they are. And I do think that the more that you think, the more that it becomes a habit, and that habit then becomes your character. And I don't think that's right. Which brings me to my number 4, which is anxiety. I get a great deal of anxiety, whether it be good or bad. I find myself waking up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I grab my phone, I check the weather, I check the time, and I flip on Facebook. So it's become very habit forming. And the anxiety is, well, what have I missed? What have I nothing? There's nothing that is going on that is that important outside of your little postage stamp in this world that it requires that much attention. You get up in the morning, you take care of your family, you go to work, you come home, you pay your bills, you take care of your home, you go do some family events. The things that are going on nationally that you really don't have a first hand in, or even communicative that you don't have a first hand in, mean nothing. They mean crap. And I'm also finding that before I go to bed at night, last thing I do is I set my alarm before I go to bed. And I check Facebook. What am I going to miss for the next 8 hours? Chances are nothing. It's getting to be a little ridiculous, and it's the anxieties are when I see people, whether they be friends, whether they be family, putting these things on Facebook that are just not reality, or talk to them face to face and be like, look, your intent and what your reality is are two totally different things. You just need to be true to yourself. Now, if you go back to the very beginning of this video, I put the definition of community. I'm going to focus my last with the antonym of community. Now, as you saw in the definition of community, it was very specific in the way that it described the generalization of a community. The antonym of community is dissimilarity. Dissimilarity is discarding separatism. It's pushing people away. And I do feel like to some degree that is what Facebook's direction is going now. If you have a community, you have people who have similar interests, similar ideas, and you kind of move forward. Well, in America, we have millions and millions of people that come from very different cultures, very different backgrounds, very different religions. With that being said, putting Facebook as a beacon that allows you to have everyone in a community have a voice, all that is doing is causing separation. You're seeing the negative, not so much positive, and you are getting to a spot where it is just driving people, families, and all completely apart. You catch people in lies, whether it be family or friends, people you thought you were close to. We'll see how it goes. I will reapproach this in about 30 days with another video, kind of an update. If you can do me a favor, if you like what you're seeing, smash that like button, throw me a comment or two, share, subscribe to the videos since I will no longer be on Facebook. I am going to continue on Twitter for a time being, just because you have a little bit more control over your Twitter account than what you do on Facebook. So with that being said, no more Facebook. Keep up with me on Twitter, and I will catch you on the next one. Out.